Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to be covering the new Tier 10 Steel Cruiser, the Hawaii, which is available for the Steel Will event. So for the price of the ship, we're going to click the Armory, and we're going to let load, as of course with you guys as well. You're going to click the Steel Fleet on the top here, or you click the thing that looks like steel on the left, and you're going to see the ships available here for the prices. We've got Hawaii and Bremen. Those are the ships I purchased. We also have Aki, I-5644, Valparaiso, and Le Havre. I'm only going to be covering reviews for the Hawaii and the Bremen. So if you want to see the Bremen, of course, I'll be covering it. So even if you don't want to see it, I'll still cover it. But today, we'll be covering the Tier 10 Hawaii. I've got two wonderful games to feature for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. But I'm doing this more like the older style videos where I'm going to cover the build before the game and then I'll go into the game after. And I'll show you the two games. So for the commander build, I'm going to be running, first of all, for the ship. So we've got, well, I'm running William F. Halsey Jr. here. I'm going to be running the gun feeder, consumable specialist, demolition expert, adrenaline rush, superintendent, concealment expert, top grade gunner, and heavy HE and sap shells. For equipment, I'm running main battery mod 3, concealment system mod 1, prop mod 1, aiming system mod 1, damage control system mod 1, but you can definitely run the radar or the hydro. Preferably the hydro, the radar not so much because the radar range is only 8.5 kilometers on this one. Main armaments mod 1 for better turret survivability, but actually you could also run it on the actual damage control, but I think main armaments is a bit better. For the actual armor layout available for the Hawaii, we've got the 27mm nose armor, 27 deck, 28mm side armor, and then 27 aft deck armor as well on the helicopter pad there. Unfortunately, you do not have helicopters. What you do get, though, is a 36mm armor deck here, which is pretty nice. If we take a look at the citadel for the Hawaii, we take a look, see, it's actually underwater. Very hard to hit, but if you are full broadside, you are going to get hit pretty hard regardless on pens, and you might actually get citadel at further ranges, so do still be careful when you're playing the Hawaii. Try to angle as best as possible. For ship characteristics, we've got 74,700 HP, 13% torpedo protection damage reduction. For main guns, we've got 12, actually total of 24 127mm guns. You're not going to be able to use all of them. You do have 3 per side, which you're not going to be able to use if you're facing one side, for example. Or is it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I pointed at these ones, but it's actually these 3 up here. So those ones you can only use when you're facing one side, for example. You have 18.3 kilometer range. You see, they are very light caliber guns, same as Austin, for example, but you only have HE and AP in this case. But your shell travel time is actually pretty good. Now, you do have an F key available on the ship, and some of you might be wondering what it does. It reduces your reload by 43%, so you go down to a 3-second reload. You also reduce your gun range from that solid 18.3 down to 12.5. Your shell travel time gets significantly reduced as well. Your fire chance gets reduced 4%, and your AP damage gets reduced slightly. So you do get some downsides, but when you're closer range and you can hit the shells, you get a lot more DPM, for example, so you can really unload some damage. For the actual AA defense, apparently it's pretty good. You get 11 flak on this one, which is overall pretty good, I think. I'm not running DFA, I'm running Hydro, because I actually prefer Hydro in general, but I think DFA could also be an option on this ship. For maneuverability, it goes 34.7 knots, 840 meter turning circle radius, and 13.8 second rudder shift time. For concealment, we've got 12.2 detection, which, whilst it's not super good, for a ship of its size, is actually quite good. Now, for the camouflage we have available for the Hawaii, you have the normal American camo here, plus the alternate camouflage here. It's a 2-tone. It looks alright. I mean, I don't mind. It looks pretty good, and I think it's, I mean, even though the ship wasn't built, it is a historical style camo the Americans used to use, which is always cool. And we also have, because if you buy the ship right now, you have steel camo, which I'll have to actually enable there so you can see it. This is what the Hawaii actually looks like with the steel camo on, which actually looks pretty cool. But I'm personally not going to use it. I'm going to use the normal camo there. For the ship style, or at least the look of the ship, I think it looks amazing. It has these modernized Cold War style antennas for the radars. It's got this big radar on the top, which is really cool. And in the back, we got these 2 more radars, I think. But more importantly, we got this helicopter pad, making it seem like a very modern Cold War style-esque cruiser, which is really cool. I think it looks amazing. Let me know what you think of the ship in the comments below. I'm wondering really what you guys think, at least of the look, and maybe if you're going to be getting it or not. But I think, that being said, we should definitely go into the game in the Hawaii. So here we are on the Atlantic here with the Hawaii. This is our first game that I'll be covering. Just for context, this is a pre-recorded game, but I did play it last Friday when I wasn't streaming, so I don't think anyone has had access to this replay before, of course, because I just played it. But it's a pretty good game that I got to play, so I had to feature it. I'll also be featuring another game after this. But yeah, so this is the first game here in Hawaii on the Atlantic. Overall, pretty good. So what do we get with the Hawaii? As I showed you in the port before, I showed you the armor layout, the build, and for example, what we have as an ability, which is the buffing of the reload. But we're going to show you a physical example here in the match where we're going to get some full reload. Now, here we are. We're trying to get... You see the gun range gets reduced when you click the F key, by the way. Really cool. It is actually kind of cool that you can kind of use rocks when they're close. It can be a bit cringe if you're fighting against it, but it also has really hard to aim guns. Well, not really hard, but they're quite hard to aim with the F key on. Without the F key on, the guns are actually fairly simple to aim. Even at 18 kilometers, you can kind of hit things pretty easily. But yeah, the Valparaiso, by the way, cool ship, I think, but I do not have access to it, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to make a review for it. But I believe my friend PQ will be making a review for it, so that's pretty cool indeed. For context, I'm sorry that I couldn't cover the Hawaii before. As you know, I'm not a CC anymore, so I don't have access to the test ships beforehand to cover these ships, so I would need to unlock them myself and then cover them myself in a, you know, more traditional way, more like you guys, I guess. I unlock the ship, I play it a bit, I figure out what I think about the ship, and then make the review on it. And this is kind of after that whole process is done. I'm sorry, I mean, I'm a week off, I think a week delayed, unfortunately, from most other reviews, but I hope you still enjoyed this review in general. Now, we saw that Valparaiso get absolutely smashed there. Unfortunately, we only ended up getting 10,000 damage on him, which isn't too big. But, you know, sometimes we start off the rounds very, you know, restricted like that. In this case, we have 10k damage. Our rudder was jammed. I'm trying to turn around now to try to get into range. You see our radar range is very limited at 8.5 kilometer range. Similar range or the same exact range as Atlanta at tier 7. Or Salem actually also has 8.5 kilometer range, I believe. So you're going to have that same radar that Salem gets. So I guess not the best, not the worst. Well, I guess it is the worst, right? Maybe, I'm not sure. But Hawaii, I mean, overall, personally, now I've gotten to play it quite a fair amount. Overall, I really enjoy playing this ship. To me, it seems like you have almost 2 playstyles with it, where you have the ability to play at longer ranges. Overall, I've seemed to prefer playing it on islands regardless, because if you're in the open, you are going to be eating quite a lot of damage with this ship. I mean, not insane amounts, but it depends what ship you're fighting against, of course. But you are going to eat a lot of damage because you aren't that maneuverable. Your concealment isn't that good, and you're quite large in size. I mean, same as Alaska, right? It is the same class of ship, or at least hull class as Alaska. So you are going to eat quite a lot of damage. You have to be really careful when you play this ship. Personally, like I said, I personally like to stay on islands with it as much as possible. When they're further away, you can still arc over the islands. When they get really close to you, though, that's where the fun happens, because you're behind the island. And you'll see this match. We can sit behind islands and start unloading on people with the faster reload. So that's kind of what you want to be doing, is trying to use islands as best as possible. Does that mean you cannot sit in the open? Yeah, you can. You can sit more in the open than, for example, I don't know, a Smolensk, for example, because Smolensk will get obliterated in the open just sitting there. But it does get smoke, which this one doesn't. For DPM values, from what I was told, at least, the The stock DPM here that we have is a bit less than Smolensk, just a bit less than Smolensk. But the FK FK DPM is actually just slightly below Colbert. So overall, the DPM values are pretty high. Another thing to mention is about the two play styles. What I was saying is you can play it this longer range style, preferably behind islands or smoke screens, or in a position where you can actually shoot people without, well, minimizing damage intake. Or you can kind of play it, you try to get as close as possible, you try to play it on the rocks. Now, you might wonder, on the rocks, can you actually arc over them? With the long-range shells, you might find it a bit hard to arc over some rocks, but overall, I haven't really had trouble with that. But with the FQ on, I mean, you're gonna be arcing over a lot of rocks, and you can really farm over those rocks, which is really cool. And the fire chance, by the way, at 11% on the ship is pretty incredible for the gun range it has. So yeah, overall, I mean, this ship has a lot of strengths. Its main weaknesses would be its actual damage taken. It does take quite a lot of damage sometimes, either be it from main gun penetration. I mean, we have 27mm armor overall, so not bad. We do have the 36mm deck armor in the central deck, so that's pretty good. But a lot of things can pen you regardless with the HE. Something to mention also is, even though we do have super light cruiser guns, the fact that we have an Alaska hull, unfortunately, gives us Alaska burn time, I believe, at 60 seconds. So you are going to burn for 60 whole seconds, and you do have 74,000 HP with this build. So you are going to be taking quite a lot of fire damage, and unfortunately, you have no ability of taking fire prevention on this ship. So you have to be really careful. Especially against those HE ships, even AP ships, and you'll see against this Musashi, I'll eat some damage. Not in this salvo, luckily, but you can eat some damage, regardless through overmatch. That's where islands are going to be helping you do most of the safety, right? The safety comes from the islands. American cruiser-esque island safety is always important. Now you'll see, look how much range I have to play with here. 18.3. I mean, overall, 18.3 kilometers of range makes the ship quite easy to use, because you can kind of sit at those ranges, and you can hit those guns pretty easily at these ranges. And even at 16 km, 17 km, 15 km, you're going to be hitting the shells quite easily overall. Not the easiest. Sometimes you're going to find it hard. It depends what you're shooting, right? If you're shooting Kleber's at 18 kilometers, you're going to find it pretty hard. But if you're shooting battleships at these ranges, you're going to have a pretty good time overall. Now we see this Musashi being bow in. Kind of what we want to see. We want to farm the Musashi. And hopefully we'll end up doing some good damage to it. These guns are pretty loud though. But yeah. I mean, really not much to talk about here. We're going to be reversing a bit. I'm just trying to put you in my brain here a bit and tell you what we're doing. But we're just reversing, trying to farm this Musashi. You can see these fires start rolling in here. Free fire damage. Unfortunately, one of our guns is destroyed for 35 seconds, but that's okay. We're going to try to, well, not throw our Castilla in, but I'm trying to reverse a bit so I minimize my damage, again, intake, and maximize my damage output. Hopefully they'll switch to this Castilla. You see me there on fire for the whole 60 seconds, but I do DCP that. It's not really the best position to DCP, because if the Condi reload boosted me, I probably just die. But I have eaten a lot of damage. But I am playing very greedy here. I really want to just farm as much damage as possible, as you can see. So, and of course, the reason we're trying to farm as much damage as possible is we need to reduce the enemy ship's HP, so our teammates can, of course, finish them off. And if they can finish them off, we have a better chance of winning. If we're not farming damage, if we're not using our guns, we're going to have a harder time winning the game. And this ship, I wouldn't say it's all about damage farming, but that's kind of what we need to be doing, is outputting damage with a ship like this, right? I mean, we do have the utility, but it is a bit restricted, the utility, because it only is 8.5 kilometer range. So, on the radar, I mean. So, we have to try to use as much of our strengths as possible, and the strengths come through our main guns here. The Musashi doesn't have a fire on him, which we should try to fix. By fix, I mean light a fire on him. And as you can see, I'm dark here. Makes it fairly simple. I sit behind the rock and just farm a bit. I also have top grade gunner, which is going to give us a reload buff if we do get into close proximity of ships. A match like this, I was very lucky in terms of just the ability to sit behind a rock where my teammates are spotting for me. Sitting in the open here will probably get me killed very fast, so we have to sit behind the rock, guys. It just is what it is on a map like this. Colombo over there, the Condi, the Musashi, the Missouri. Whilst they don't one-shot me or something, they're gonna do a lot of damage, especially if all of them chose to shoot me, right? So we just have to be really careful. I'm trying to look around. I mean, trying to see around the map, I guess, because it is a bit boring in this case because we're not getting big damage. As you can see, 200 non-penetration hits. We're not hitting that superstructure. We're finding it a bit hard to aim specifically at the superstructure here, but we are trying to light fires at the end of the day, and we did get a fire there. Musashi's in forward, so we're trying to aim a bit forward on it. The enemy Bremen goes down, which is really nice for our team. We get another fire there. We're up to 15 fires. I'm a bit shocked that we didn't get Witherer. There it is. Witherer right there. 16 fires at this point, which is super huge. Halfway to 300k here. 8 minutes only left in the game, so I don't think we're really going to get close to 300k. But we try our best anyway. Just eliminate as many ships as possible. Missouri goes down there, which is huge for my team. Musashi is getting closer and closer to my maximum DPM range. Very close at this point, at 12.5 kilometers, but he's still not there yet. Soon there. But again, not there yet, so we're just gonna keep trying to farm him over this rock. And as you can see, I'm just farming him for free. No really damage intake, which is really nice. Now, he gets close enough here for me to switch to the DPM, and you can see the DPM coming in. Look at this reload buff. Unfortunately, he does die, but look how quick the reload is. And we also have top grade gunner, which means even when we have the F key on, it's likely something is in our detection range and spotted. So in that case, we also get a reload buff from top grade gunner of 8% extra. That's why I also recommend you take the top grade gunner. It's really going to help you out, and it's really good. You could also take maybe outnumbered, but since you're restricting your gun range, but I think the actual the top grade gunner is more useful, and you'll see it's on here. Look at this reload right now. We see 2.5 second reload at this point, which is insane. For 9 guns, I guess 9 times 2, it's 18 guns per side. So unfortunately, I'm not aiming too perfectly on the Seattle because it's behind a rock. I can't see it, right? So I'm just trying our best to unload some damage, and we do unload a bit of damage. And I believe, do we actually end up killing him? Yes, we do. Which means we get our first kill of our game at 194,000 damage there in the Hawaii. We push a bit forward here to try to get into the Condi Colombo so we can start unloading on them. But we are so far, the points are inverted, 830 for us, I think, and 690 for them, I believe. So we are getting some points at this point. But unfortunately, this game isn't going to be as easy as it looks. It's going to be actually pretty hard. And just keep in mind my damage count at this point at 194 with 6 minutes left. We're going to try to start farming this Colombo. Our Laffy, unfortunately, goes down. Realistically, there was no way the Laffy should have gotten spotted because there's no radars. And we needed the life there, unfortunately, because, well, this game isn't over. Now, here we get Confederates. Which is going to buff our reload even further, which is wonderful. Now, we are still using that long range reload, but right now we've got a 3.8 second reload with 18 kilometer range, which is huge. And we're trying to see what reload we get with our F key here, down to 2.2 seconds. With the F key now down to 2.0 seconds because of that top grade gunner. This is what a 2-second reload Hawaii looks like, by the way. It is a bit hard, like I said before the game started, to aim the shells with these with the F key on. However, if you are going to end up hitting the shots, unlike me, you are going to get a lot of damage. You see me here switching to the Colombo. The reason is he's pre-kited. I need to kind of eliminate him because he is a bit of a big threat for me, just based on the sap, because he can really unload some sap damage on me, which is a bit unfortunate. We get a high caliber there and a fire, which is really nice. You see me trying to escape here. I'm going to try to come out onto this Condi and just try to eliminate him potentially. He is close enough here where I can really just start dealing some big damage on him. We're at 37k HP ourselves. 230,000 damage at this point. But let's start trying to eliminate him. And you can see, look how many shells we're firing at this point. This is huge. The damage output with top grade gunner, Confederate, with Halsey, and then AR, and the FK on is just, I mean, immense, right? It's huge. And we're down to 1.9 second reload at this point with 18 guns. So I definitely recommend you guys try the Halsey out at least. At least try it out. Unfortunately, I mean, there's only 30k damage left for me to reach 300k. But it's not that easy, guys. It's really not that easy. I try to blind fire this Incheon as much as possible. I also have the radar blasting, but the radar's only 8.5 kilometer range. Shimakaze goes down, unfortunately. It really is surprising that the Shimakaze did go down as well. Again, I mean, there's nothing to spot these destroyers, or at least outspot these destroyers. So having both of them alive, I think we would have actually almost won the game, or gotten really close to winning the game. But anyway, I see the Shimakaze. I start unloading on it. I start blind firing it. I'm panicking. I'm just trying to get this Shimakaze, guys. Sadly, I'm only on 10k HP. Another Haaland comes up here. I probably waste too many shots on the Haaland, and I actually could have just shot the Incheon, but it doesn't win us the game regardless. And that's game. So for our first game in the Hawaii, we got 297,962 damage, 3 kills, 1 assisted in destruction, 3 incapacitations, 23 fires, 2 spotted ribbons, 1,117 shell hits with 4 defended ribbons, Witherer, Confederate, and High Caliber. For team score, we ended up getting top of our team at 1.8k base XP. Quite a huge game. Definitely respectable. Unfortunately, we did lose. But again, losses do happen at the end of the day. So we'll take what we can get, guys. We got a bit of damage, which is nice, I guess. 43k on the Kondi there. 15k on the Seattle. 4k on the Shima. 102,000 on the Musashi. 42k on the Colombo. 22k on the Missouri. 15k on the Incheon. 14k on the Bremen. 10k on the Valparaiso. 10k, 8k, and 6k on the remaining ships. 171k from HE there. 11k from AP, and 114,000 from fires, guys. A huge HE game, this one. Pretty much almost all, or almost entirely from HE. These are longer range angled targets, so that's what we expect. If you're expecting close range, you can actually use a lot of the AP as well. You can do pretty reasonable damage. For damage received, 123,000 ourselves. And this is the credits and XP screen. Alright, so here we are in the second game, guys, in the Hawaii. This game, I'm playing with a renamed user. This one's actually PQ. I'm playing with PQ this game. I was streaming, at this point, whenever I upload this video, I think I'll upload this video on Monday. I was streaming with PQ this day, so I was streaming on Sunday. Hopefully, I'll be streaming Hawaii and Bremen today. So if you're interested in watching some more games in the ships, make sure to follow my Twitch channel in the description of the video, guys. It's free to follow. And of course, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I would greatly appreciate it a lot, guys. Thank you so much for the support. But please, if you do enjoy the content, do leave a sub because it does help me out a lot. And maybe even a follow to my Twitch channel. But anyway, so you're going to see me play a bit more aggressive than I did last game, this game. And at the start, I'm going to get bitten for it pretty hard. I actually really thought I was going to end up dying this game. So let's see. So we got a Prince Adalbert here. So it's going to be pretty much my Hawaii versus the Prince Adalbert secondaries here. And to me, I actually got really scared because I thought the Prince Adalbert was going to have the edge here and he's going to start unloading on me. But we have the F key enabled here in the Hawaii. Just trying to get some damage on him, as you can see. And we're already up to 30,000 damage. I mean, pretty fast. And look how quickly we start stacking this damage. We got double fire on him already. PQ's also starting to get some shots in on him. He's down to 50k, 40k. I'm 50k. I'm getting smashed too, by the way. I might just die, but I won't. Because I know how this game ends up. So it's not like I'm gonna die. But it really does seem like I'm gonna die. And I did play overly aggressive here. And I definitely don't recommend you guys play overly aggressive. Because it's really not the way. You'll start seeing some torps coming into my general direction. These are Z44 torpedoes, unfortunately. But yeah, we're just gonna try to dodge those. And we also have the aircraft to deal with. This is a pretty pretty overly aggressive position. Don't go into positions like these, guys, if possible. But anyway, we get a solid 78,000 damage there so far. A pretty good start to the game. Unfortunately, we ended up eating 50,000 damage for that, plus a heal, so more like 62,000 damage for that 78,000 damage. So we traded pretty much 1-for-1 almost, which isn't that good. Luckily, the destroyer did smoke up, so we end up going dark, which is really nice. Personally, I choose to go for the concealment build. I actually prefer concealment overall, guys. I know PQ's running right now, at least in the match with me. He's running a lighthouse build, full lighthouse, I think. Personally, I prefer this concealment build. It helps me go dark whenever I kind of need, and it helps me to try to survive a bit longer, potentially. At least I wouldn't survive as long in the lighthouse build. That's definitely for sure. But in terms of what I think of this ship, I mean, it's really cool. For me, I enjoy playing it a lot. Sometimes I do get smashed in it, certain matches. But the matches I get like good games in, it's just incredible. Like, it can be really fun. And it allows you to kind of play these two mini playstyles in one ship. You have the long range ability and you have this close range DPM ability. To me, it's cool. Now, for you guys, should you get this one or the Bremen, if you had to choose one or the other? I don't know about Aki and Valparaiso. I don't know any of those, unfortunately. I don't have any of those. But between the Bremen and the Hawaii, if you only can get one, in terms of damage farming consistency, I would probably say the Bremen so far from trying both of these ships out. If you want something more unique, at least in playstyle, I would go for the Hawaii. But I think personally, I think for me, I actually prefer the Bremen so far, just to say it's consistent, and I've always wanted a tier 10 mines, so you know, I can't say, you know, but Hawaii is really cool, but you do have to know what you're doing a bit. You can't just get into it and you really don't know what you're doing and you expect to have a good time, and you are, even though it is tankier than something like Colbert. You still have to know how to aim your shots, and you still have to know how to position. Be it behind an island, whatever, you have to know when to push, when to time the push, when to get into these ranges. Because even though you have radar and you can deter destroyers a bit, they really have 4 kilometers on your spotting, and they can really bully you a bit into certain positions. For example, the Z44 is keeping me spotted the whole time, and it's really restricting my movement. As you can see, I had to sit on this rock for a very long time, so I had to sit bow into him. He's spotting me for his team. I get smashed. But again, you know, this is part of the gameplay. And you have to kind of know what you're doing with the Hawaii. With Bremen, that doesn't mean you don't have to know what you're doing. But to me, Bremen just seems very simple to play. It's like a Hindenburg, you know? It is very similar to Hindenburg, just with more DPM, it seems. But I'll definitely be covering the Bremen in a future video. So hopefully... if you guys are subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe if you want to see the Bremen video. And a like to this video would go a long way to supporting my channel. It is free at the end of the day. And, you know, it does help out the channel a lot. But, again, if you want to see a Bremen video, make sure to subscribe. If you're subscribed already, just make sure to see in the upcoming days. I'll definitely be posting that Bremen video. So hopefully you'll get to see that from my end. I know, again, these videos are coming out a bit late, guys. But again, like I said last game, or if you didn't watch last game, just for context, again, I'm not a CC anymore, so I don't have access to these ships early. I have to unlock them, well, the way you guys unlock them, and in this case I did. I bought them with steel. I almost ran out of steel at this point, but it's okay. These ships I wanted to get because they seemed really cool and unique, and I wanted to get them for sure. And I'm happy to be covering them for you guys regardless. So hopefully you enjoy the videos. Hopefully in general, regardless. You see how much AP damage I'm doing to this Nebraska, by the way? Is a rear carrier deck. Huge, right? Huge damage. And you see my restraint here of not charging at him. This is because there's a Prince Adalbert down there. And more importantly, there's also a Mecklenburg up here we can start farming. I don't know. This is awesome, man. A map like Estuary, though, really gives into the strengths of the ship, because there's a lot of tall islands you can make use of. Same with last match with the Atlantic, specifically more on seaside. You can really just output a lot of damage there on islands and minimize the damage intake just based on the tall islands you have for covering you, right? Now in this case, we're not really going to be using a lot of islands because we're kind of caught out in the open and we have no heals left. So it seems like it's an over game for me. But this is why you should never give up in the matches, guys. This is why you should never just run it down instantly and die instantly, you know? You can just play it a bit slow. We're on 1 kill right now, but hopefully we'll get a few more. Nebraska is trying to bring these planes towards us. I'm trying to hide from the Z44 main guns. And you can say, well, how damaging is a Z44? But actually, if he lights those fires, he can be very damaging to me, unfortunately. So we have to be really careful. So anyway, we start just shooting this Mecklenburg with the PQ here. Just trying to get those fires. We get 1 fire. Seems like PQ got another fire. He's on double fire at this point. So now we just need to start unloading some damage. Adrenaline Rush doing some work. We got Top Grade Gunner doing some work. Unfortunately, our spotting goes away. We rotate the guns here onto this Bremen to try to start unloading on it. Mecklenburg's still burning, which is nice. And he does go down, which is also really nice. But anyway, you see this Bremen charging in. We just turn our guns to it. We're gonna try start unloading on it potentially. Hopefully we're gonna get some good damage on it. PQ also sees the Bremen. He's gonna unload on him as well. This double Hawaii division is a bit cringe, to be to be honest. But again, I think I mean, having a single Hawaii, you can also get more damage farm. But in this case, you just see, like, the damage output is pretty incredible with double Hawaii. So, we have an Atlantico here, full HP. PQ is actually almost out of heals, or I think this is his last heal he's using. I'm out of heals as well. So, we have to try to be a bit cautious to win this game, right? And we're trying. We're trying to be a bit patient here. PQ, you know, PQ's going in. He's healthier than me. But I say, you know what? I'm going to come behind him. I'm just a bit slow on the acceleration, but I'm coming. I'm going to try to help him out with the Atlantico. Unfortunately, I'm a bit slow here on coming in. He does get Confederate, though, so that means he's going to get that reload buff. He was saying just seconds before this that he never had the Confederate on the Hawaii yet, but now he got it. He's trying out to reload before he dies, and well, it's good damage output, guys. So yeah, now I'm starting to get some damage output as well on the Atlantico. Fortunately, we dodged those torps. Well, not dodged. The torp hit the rock. And as you can see, boom, big damage. Look how many shells we're throwing into this Atlantico. We tried the AP. Now we're switching to HE because it seems like it's going to do more damage. Hoffman, unfortunately, is shooting me. I'm at 21k HP. That Hoffman really does hurt. So we're going to try to scare him away with a lot of shells. Doesn't mean the shells are actually going to hit because they have really bad arcs. But we're just going to try to scare him off. Nebraska is there. I actually, funnily enough, radar here, which is huge because I really didn't know the Z was here. But the fact that I caught him off guard and he's right in my face, you can really see this reload doing work now. And check that out. 5.8k HE damage. 2.2. Got a solid 3.6. I mean, this is huge, guys. You find a destroyer at these ranges at 6 kilometers. They're going to get smashed. And a Z44 that's barely moving. Huge smashing potential. We get up to 4 kills at this point with the Hawaii. And at this point, I'm really enjoying the match as well. This one, probably we're going to win unlike last match. So we're going to get that win, probably. La Fanta, unfortunately, does go down. But we're on 196,000 damage at this point. And, well, we're just going to try to go for the Nebraska. I know I'm a bit low HP, guys. But I really want a bit more damage. I want to touch 200,000. And the Nebraska seems like he's burning, so we're just going to touch 200,000 anyway without even just shooting him at all. Ooh, he missed his bombers. Really nice. Pushing up a bit more aggressive, potentially. Trying to find him. We're trying to look around to find the Nebraska. We find him full broadside. We have HE loaded, but let's see. We can really pen that carrier deck, actually. We load some AP now. And let's see. Boom. A fire instantly, plus 3.3k damage. Boom. Another 2.7 with the HE. It's incredible, man. This ship's really fun sometimes. And you get 6k damage there with the AP. Huge. I don't switch to my F key because I'm just getting really good shell hits consistently at this point by just aiming at them. You can see how easy these shells are to aim at these ranges. Switch to HE there. And we get a Kraken unleashed. So that is the Hawaii, I guess, there in the game so far. But there is one more ship we can try to fight, but I don't think we're going to end up killing him because I'm only on 10,000 HP left. But there you go. We got our Kraken, which is really nice. Unfortunately, we didn't end up getting a Confederate, at least so far. So I couldn't get a double Confederate for you guys for this video, right? Maybe. But we're going to try to push up a bit more aggressive. This ship looks awesome. Guys, I really want to know what you guys think. I want to know, will you be getting the Hawaii? If you got it, what do you think of this ship? Do you enjoy it or no? Oh, also, speaking of which, here we've got a Hoffman. Unfortunately, I used the F key here. I don't think I should have. I should have just focused on getting consistent damage instead of just going gorilla mode. But I did go gorilla mode for no reason. And at the end here, you can, because it's just the end of the game. And as you can see, I got Confederate right at the end, but barely got to use it. And that just squeezes us over that 230,000 damage mark, which is really nice. For personal score in the second game, we ended up doing 235,996 damage, 5 kills, 2 assisted in destruction, 6 incapacitations, 10 fires, 3 spotted ribbons, 913 shell hits, and 8 plane shot down. We got Strike Team, Confederate, Kraken Unleashed, and High Caliber. For team score, we got first place on our team at 2.6k base XP. A really good match indeed from both me and PQ. I'm happy. We both had pretty good matches. I think he also had over 200k, so that's really nice. For detailed report, we had 59k on the Nebraska, 33k on the Mecklenburg, 29k on the Pommern, 20k on the Z44, 10k on the Atlantico, 62k on that Prince at the start of the game, 12k on the Hoffman, 6k on the Bremen, and 600 on the Valparaiso. 132k damage came from HE, plus 43,000 from fires, and we had 60,000 AP damage. Again, 120,000 damage received there. For credits and XP, this is the screen. For the commander build, once again, we're running William F. Halsey Jr. We've got Gun Feeder, Consumable Specialist, Demolition Expert, Heavy HE and Sap Shells, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, and Top Grade Gunner. For equipment, we've got Main Battery Mod 3, Concealment System Mod 1, Prop Mod 1, Aiming System Mod 1, Damage Control System Mod 1, and Main Armaments Mod 1. I personally choose to run the Hydro, but I understand if you choose to run the actual DFAA. But personally, I prefer the Hydro. So, that's pretty much it for the Hawaii, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video for the Hawaii. If you did, please leave a like to the video and of course a subscription to the channel because it's free. And of course a comment, let me know if you will be getting the Hawaii or not. And just let me know in general what you think of it. Looks wise or in general, maybe even just gameplay wise, more importantly, right? Personally, what do I think of the ship? Do I recommend you get it? As I said, guys, if you have to have one option between both of them, if you want a more unique playstyle, definitely I guess the Hawaii is more unique. In terms of which one is actually better though, probably more consistent, damage farming, probably the Bremen, and Bremen's probably just easier to play in general because it is very kind of like one-dimensional HE Kiter ship. But the Hawaii, again, gives you that unique playstyle, but it is harder to play for in general, I think, for newer players or at least mid-experienced players. But I actually do enjoy playing the Hawaii a lot, and I will be playing it way more. So if you want to watch more Hawaii or Bremen gameplay, feel free to follow the Twitch channel in the description of this video. I'll be streaming more consistently in the future, so I would appreciate if you follow me there and take a look at some of the videos. But that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what ship you want me to cover next. Of course, I'll be covering Bremen. But let me know if you want to also watch Nuremberg 44. I will be covering it in a future video after I unlock it. But I still haven't gotten access to it. Again, I have to unlock these ships manually one by one. I will be covering the Nuremberg 44 as well in a future video. And I will also cover the Bremen and the Lanzhou whenever the Lanzhou comes out. And the Bremen, just for you to see it in advance. Of course, will be covering it on Twitch, but this is what it looks like in the game. So I will be covering it in a video sometime this week. So even probably Nuremberg 44. So I hope you're subscribed to the channel so you can see these upcoming ships, which is really cool. But that's it. Did I say ships? That's kind of funny. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Big fan.